students, welcome to the online session for the subject of industrial safety. These are the virtual classes for the subject of industrial safety. The subject of industrial safety is mainly for the students of civil engineering, particularly structural engineering and mechanical engineering. So here we will be discussing all the topics that are related to the subject of industrial safety. So now we will be starting with our session. So 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hello students, so welcome to our online session of industrial safety. Now today we will be starting with our second session of the industrial safety. Okay, so let's move forward for this subject. Yes, so basically the contents that is required to be covered today in this session will be what are the mechanical hazards. So there is a topic called mechanical hazards that will be discussed in today's session. Next, hazards may be mainly due to heat and cold, radiation, and fire and explosion. Because of the changes in temperature, because of the high radiation that we are getting from the sun, and the fire and explosion, which mainly used to occur in the industries, are the causes of the hazards. And because of that, hazards can take place. There are different kind of hazards that are taking place. They are physical hazards, chemical hazards, biological hazards, mechanical hazards, electrical hazards, and pollution hazards. So these are all the types of hazards, and heat and cold, radiations, fire and explosions, these are all the causes of the hazards. So this is what the causes and the types of the hazards are. Mechanical hazards. Mechanical hazards are those hazards that are not associated with the power driving, automated, or electrically operated machine, which are driven by hydraulic or electric power. Means they are associated with the machines that are working automatically or electrically. Okay, and that can be either working on the electric power or hydraulic. So basically, the accidents that has been caused by such kind of equipments are termed as the mechanical hazards. The type of injuries that has been resulted by the mechanical hazards are cutting, tearing, shearing, crushing, breaking, straining, or puncturing. So these are all the types of injuries that can occur because of the mechanical hazards. Mechanical hazards. Some of injuries that can occur as a result of mechanical hazards are as follows. First is the impact. Impact is being hit by the ejected part of the machinery or equipment. Because of the impact, the any part of the machinery can be ejected. It can be hurt by the person who is dealing with that machine. So by this way, because of the impact, the injuries can also occur. Next is friction and abrasion. Example, the use of the sander. So we all know that because of the wear and tear, because of the friction, lack of friction or more of friction, abrasion, the mechanical hazard can take place. Basically, the friction will affect the movement of the machine. Through working of the machine, abrasion will reduce the life of the machine. More the abrasion, more will be the usage, lesser will be the age. So this is how the friction and abrasion will also interpret to it. Now next mechanical hazard is entrapment. That is being caught in a moving part of a machine or equipment. So sometimes the workers who is working in the industry, incident used to occur that their hands get entrapped into the machine, or we can say that something hanging in their clothes or some part of clothes of the worker has caught into the moving part of the machine. And as a result of that, a large accident has occurred, and obviously the worker has been get damaged. Either his hand get cutted off or his life can be ended. So this is how the mechanical hazard used to take place because of the entrapment, stabbing and puncture. So because of the stabbing and puncture also means some damage in the machine, the mechanical hazard can also take place. Mechanical hazards: high pressure fluid injection. A pinhole leak in the hydraulic hose can burst and inject hydraulic oil into the personal hand, for example. Okay, so means the machine, if for example it is an industry where the oil is being transmitted to the machine for the working of the machine, and if that particular hose hose pipe is having some leakage, so from that hole the oil will get move out, and as a result and as a result of the working because of some abrasion, or where some, so by some reason if the oil get come in contact with the heat, or some fire, then a large fire will take place, and as a result of that, a large disaster takes place. Next is crushing. Collision of plant with a person is an example of it. Okay, so basically crushing means collision of the, means previously also I have discussed that some portion of, or the whole body of the worker get entrapped into the uh, plant or a particular machine, then as a result of that crushing can take place, and as a result of that the failure can also take place. Next is shearing. Can be mainly to uh, because of the two moving parts, sharp or otherwise, moving across one another. Because of the moving of the two parts along each other, this where the failure due to the shearing can take place. Next is cutting. Severing of the human body by cutting motion. Example, amputation of finger on the machine or cutting machine. So as discussed earlier, that some portion of the worker can come in contact with the machine, and as a result of that, the damage can occur to the body of the workers. Entanglement. For example, a loose sleeve getting caught into the moving part of the, or drawing the person into the machine. So this already we have discussed earlier, that some loose sleeves or cloth come in contact with the moving machine, then as a result of that mechanical hazard can take place. Prevention of the mechanical hazard. It can be reduced by application of the appropriate safeguards. The worker should wear the safeguards. They should have the safety precautions in their mind properly. They should be properly treated, or we can say that properly guarded when the, regarding when what to do when the hazard will take place. So they should be clear in that mind that what steps are going to be taken, and what are the clothes they should wear, and what are all other safety measures that is required to be taken, and this all should be given to them prior to the application of them the industry. Next is safeguarding, is to minimize the risk of the accident of the machine operator contact. Okay, so safeguarding is required to be done before the accident will take place. Types of the safeguarding, means there are mainly two types of safeguarding: point of operation guards, feeding or ejection method. Point of operation guards. Point of operation guards are mainly of three types: fixed guards, interlocked guards, adjustable guards. Now we will be discussing first the fixed guards. Fixed guard will provide a permanent barrier between the worker and the point of operation. So it will provide a permanent barrier between the worker and the point of the operation. So it is equal to be done. Interlock guards. Interlock guards shut down the machine when the it is not securely in their place. So basically, inter guards will, when some unusual activities will be done, or if the machine is not rated in the organized way or in the way it is required to be, then as a result of that, the interlock will take place, and the shutdown on the machine will get shut down. So this is how interlock guards will work. Interlock guards are those guards that are being within the machine. It is just kind of a programmized guard. Advantage of the interlock guards are allow safe access for removing jams or other maintenance. So these are the advantages of the interlock guards. Next is the adjustable guards. They provide a barrier against the variety of different hazards. So there are variety of hazards who will take place in different way. So this kind of adjustable guards that is flexible and that can be provided, that will be provide safety to the working personnel. Feeding and ejection system. Automatic feeding system feed the stock to the machine from the rolls. It eliminates the need of the operators to enter the danger zone. So this is how feeding and ejection system works. Advantage of this is the operator do not reach to the danger zone to retrieve the workpieces. So worker will not be able to reach to the danger zone while the working is taking place and some danger has occurred. So to repair that danger work, the worker will not be allowed to move to that particular danger location. So this is one of the advantages of the feeding and injection system. General precautions. All the operators should be trained in a safe operation and maintenance of their machine. So training work is required to be done properly from the industry management point of view to the workers so that they can be treated properly. They should know what to do when an accident occurs. They should be clear in that mind that which steps are required to be taken once the hazard will take place or some casualty or unusual activities occur. So they should be clear in their mind. Next is all the machines operators should be trained in an emergency procedures to take when accident occurs. Okay, so there is some emergency exit so that the workers can move out of that particular place, and as a result of that, their lives can be saved. So this is all the things that is required to be taken into consideration by the management of the industries. They should take into that mind that there should be some opening or some safety outlets from where the working personnel can move out of the place. Next is all the employees should know how to activate emergency shutdown control. So obviously each and every instrument have the emergency shutdown. Even the car also have, and many kind of machines used to have. Even the washing machines or even the ovens or any kind of the machine used to have the emergency shutdown, so that the some unusual things doesn't takes place and the person who is dealing with that machine does not get harm from it. So that particular key should be known to the working personnel, and as a result of that, when some unusual or there is a chance of occurrence of the accident, they should shut down the control and they should activate the shutdown. Okay, even we also have in our PC also that emergency shutdown is used to there. Okay, next is inspection, maintenance, adjustment, repairs and calibration of safeguard should be carried out regularly. All the work machines should be inspected regularly. Their adjustment is required to be done, maintenance is required to be done, repairing if it is required is definitely required to be done. From the inspection we can come to know that whether the repairing is required or not, and by doing so we can reduce the chances of the accidents. Okay, next, general precautions. Supervisors should ensure the safeguards and properly in place when machine is in use. So superiors should ensure that the guards that has been provided along with the machines are properly working or not, are that particular safeguards are in their proper place. They should be ensured by the working personnel. Okay, next is shortcuts that violate the safety principles and practice should be avoided. Okay, so there is no shortcut in life also and in industrial life also. How the working of the in machine is done, that is being prescribed by the designer. In that way only the worker should deal with that machine. There is no shortcuts in working with the machine. So there should not be any kind of the violation with the practice or the working with the machine. And if it is being done, if it is being done, then it is required to be avoided. The person should be terminated by violating the policy or the violating the method of that particular machine. Okay, so these are the general things. Problems. So I will be discussing what the problems action can should is required to be takes place. So machine operating system without safety guards, maintenance working cleaning a machine that is operating. A reboot is operating without a protection barriers. So problem actions. What are the problem actions? Is we discussed earlier. Now next is if the machine is operating without safety guards, then stop the machine immediately and activate the safety guards. Machine workers cleaning the machine that is operating. Stop the machine immediately and lock or tag it out. A reboot, a robot. Sorry, my mistake. A robot is operating without a protection barrier. Then stop the robot and correct the barriers. Now next is visitor is wearing a necktie and observe a lathe machine an operator is observed disassembling a guard. Immediately, a pull of the visitor back, and means we have to immediately pull the visitors back and have to remove the tie so that the operator and the secure guard and the take disciplinary actions. Means if a visitor is wearing that necktie and is being observing the lathe machine, then then the tie might come in contact with the lathe machine. So in that case, it is necessary to pull that person back and remove the tie and stop the operation of that lathe machine and take the disciplinary action. So this is how the problematic action is required to be done. At particular case, what steps are required to be taken are being displayed in this session. Okay. So basically, we have to take the actions earlier. Immediate actions is required to be taken so that no harm will take place. Okay. So this is how the things is required to be done and what to do in particular actions. Okay. So thank you for attending this session. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Hello students, so hereby we are coming to the end of our virtual class session of the subject of industrial safety. We have discussed a lot regarding the topics of the today's session. So if you have any kind of a doubts, if you have any kind of queries, you can send me your doubts and queries via mail. My mail ID will be in my channel. So check into my channel, like it, and mail me whatever the doubts you have. And thanks again for attending the session. See you in the next session.